This is a very important session because if you thought NAAC is all about checklists and grades, Dr. Charles is here to show us the creative and dynamic side of quality assurance. Isn't it, sir? All right. And since every session, an engaging session, needs a skilled moderator, we have someone who can keep the discussion flowing, minds engaged, and to do that, we have with us Dr. Sr M Rashmi AC. Dear delegates, let's welcome both our eminent speaker and the moderator onto the stage with a big round of applause. Well, to begin this session on a note of warmth and respect, we'd like to honor our moderator as well as the speaker with a flower pot. May I please request Reverend Dr. Alvin Mendonce? Yes. Yes. He is going to present a flower pot as a symbol of wisdom and growth. He is from St. Claret College, Arunachal Pradesh. Yeah. This is our gesture of appreciation and love, which symbolizes inspiration and growth. Thank you very much. It is my honor now to introduce the moderator of this session, Dr. Sr M Rashmi AC, Principal of Patna Women's College Autonomous and President of All India Association for Christian Higher Education, New Delhi. Sister Rashmi has held several key positions, including Research and Development Area Coordinator. Her remarkable contributions to education have earned numerous honors, including the Best Principal Award by All India Association for Christian Higher Education, the Times of India Icon for Excellence Award, and Guru Sanman Award by Prabhat Khabar newspaper. I think you can give a big round of applause for her achievement. She has also been recognized with Unsung Heroes Award for her dedication to women's education and empowerment, and has served as a NAAC assessor and UGC expert committee member under the Ministry of Education. A visionary leader with the art of excellence and service, she continues to inspire countless students and educators across India. It's truly a privilege to have you as a moderator for this session, sister. A warm welcome to you. Now, may I please invite you to introduce the speaker of the session, that is Dr. Charles. Over to you, sister.
Actually, Dr. Charles is more important than the moderator today. So we have a lot to get from him, ask him, and benefit from him. So today we have come almost to the end of today's session. This being the last session, so please be patient, and I can see the hall is almost full, this side half empty. Anyway, I'm sure they are coming in. So as we see, we are all aware that the landscape of higher education has undergone profound transformation, and with it, the framework of quality assurance by NAAC has evolved significantly. So the changing face of accreditation highlights our participatory and a progressive approach. So we need to align educational excellence with the national and global benchmark. This evening, we have with us Dr. Charles J.A., who is an expert in dealing with the topic Reimagining Quality Assurance the changing face of NAAC accreditation. So today I have the privilege to introduce Dr. Charles J., who is an eminent academician, researcher, and an administrator par excellence, I must say, when I read his biodata. Dr. J. Charles pursued his BSc, MSc, and MPhil in chemistry at St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, and earned his PhD in medical chemistry from Madurai Kamaraj University. A prolific researcher and examiner, he has contributed extensively through numerous publications, books, and PhD evaluations, shaping the academic and research landscape in this field. He served over 3 decades at Arul Anandar College, Madurai, holding key positions such as Head of Chemistry, Department of Food and Technology, and Controller of Examinations. As IQAC convener, he led the college to a NAAC score of 3.66, one of the highest in rural India, reinforcing his commitment to institutional quality and excellence. We should really give him a big applause. So we are in the right place and we are with the right person. Later, as Associate Director, IQAC at Christ deemed to be university, he played a crucial role in institutionalizing academic and administrative audits and streamlining SWOT analysis across multiple campuses. His mentorship has benefited over 30 higher educational institutions across India in achieving quality benchmarks and national accreditation standards. From 2022, he served as Deputy Principal of Loyola College, Chennai, contributing to academic governance, strategic planning, and policy development. He currently serves as Director of Loyola International Academic Collaboration, fostering global partnerships, faculty and student exchange, and advancing the internationalization of higher education. In recognition of his vast expertise, Dr. Charles has been invited as a resource person by the Xavier board to deliver a session on, we have already seen the topic. What's the topic? Shall I ask you? No. Reimagining quality assurance, the changing face of NAAC accreditation. His insightful perspectives on evolving accreditation frameworks, policy reforms, and global quality benchmarks continue to inspire academic leaders nationwide. His sustained engagement with quality assurance, institutional rankings, and higher education policy reflects his deep commitment to fostering excellence, innovation, and accountability in Indian higher education. Through his contributions, Dr. Charles continues to shape the vision and direction of academic institutions, empowering them to meet global standards and respond effectively to emerging educational challenges in our country as well. So, Dr. Charles, the floor is yours now.
Respected Reverend Fathers, Sisters, esteemed participants of this conference, almost end of the day, nearing evening. Evenings are meant for showers, cultural events. Of course, what I'm going to discuss is definitely not an entertainment. Imagine my position to speak on accreditation at this odd hour, but I'm happy for this presentation. I'm happy to be a part of this 25th Triennial Conference, and I thank Father Joji and Reverend Sister Deepthi for inviting me. Give me this opportunity to meet you all, the academic heads, administrative heads, IQAC coordinators from different institutions across the country. When Xavier Board requested to give a talk on accreditation, I suggested this topic, reimagining quality assurance, the changing face of NAAC accreditation. With a little hesitation because we all still await the official release of the format, assessment format from NAAC. But when I consulted with the NAAC, Dr. Purmodi suggested I can proceed in the presentation with what NAAC presented as a proposal draft to stakeholders in different regions. Almost 85% of what that has been discussed will be in that official release also. With that consent, I am starting my presentation. What I am going to discuss, all the points, almost all of the points are known to you. Either you might have read, listened, gone through the notifications, circulars, not currently, last year. To be specific, beginning of the last year, January. So this session is going to be a recap, a reminder, a refresher to help institutions gathered here who are in due for accreditation or institutions which are facing accreditation in near future, a couple of semesters or in the next year. So quality is never an accident, it is the result of intelligent planning. You know that, meticulous execution, great team effort, all you will be having in our colleges. The term quality assurance is the prime focus of the higher educational institutions today because it is directly connected to the institution's admissions, collecting funds, grants towards research, recruitments from reputed institutions. Our institutions are ready to subject ourselves for this quality check to be monitored, assessed by agencies to find out our accountability, transparency, continuous improvement. Whatever type of institutions we are, a sister told me that we are a gathering of heterogeneous institutions. Not only that, we have representation here in this gathering from general arts and science colleges, universities. Of course, we have representation from engineering colleges, medical colleges, law colleges, management colleges. All these institutions across the country, of course, this is a forum of Catholic institutions. We are ready to subject ourselves for the quality check. In India, after UGC's 2F and 12B, many assessing agencies are doing this quality check on the institutions, among which the prime assessing agency is National Assessment and Accreditation Council. This is a quality assurance checking system, monitoring the quality standards of an institution in all the avenues once in 5 years. The other one, National Institutional Ranking Framework. If you search for synonym for anxiety, all the academic heads will find the equivalents, NARF. There is an annual anxiety every institution is undergoing. These two major assessing agencies almost take care of the assessment of all the institutions, whatever type they belong to. And then engineering, we have The programs in engineering colleges are accredited by National Board of Accreditation. Though the approval is given by AIACHE, the accreditation is taken care of by NBA. That the National Medical Commission takes care of the program approval for medical colleges and the clinical lab practices. Of course, the engineering as well as medical colleges also subject themselves to NAAC assessment and NARF ranking. Law colleges get their approval from Bar Council of India. They also are assessed by NAAC and NARF in the respective categories. Management programs, though they aim high to get global recognition from AICSB, they also subject themselves to NAAC assessment and NARF ranking. To briefly tell you about the journey of NAAC, you know pretty well I need not go into the history. It was started in 1994 to establish by UGC to monitor the quality of education given by the higher educational institutions. What NAAC did at the initial stage is quality control. What I mean by that quality control is that it's an inspection. Inspection whether ensuring rules are followed, processes are promptly documented, minimum standard is there in the institution. That is what NAAC was doing at the beginning when it was having that 5-star status. Later it moved on to quality assurance. When these IQACs in the institution started functioning effectively, submission of AQR happened every year. This is the current system what we are having, this quality assurance. And because of this quality assurance, this past 8 years, NAAC has accredited nearly 9,000 colleges, institutions, around 8,700 colleges and the remaining universities have been assessed, were kept in different grades. This is the recent 8 years history of NAAC, where you will be observing out of the 9,000 more colleges, very little number of colleges have secured the highest grade A++. Just 3%. 310 colleges have got A++, and then 825 A+, 1,400 in A, 1,582 in B++, 1,600 in B+. The major portion, major number of colleges are lying in grade B. This is the quality of education that is being given by institutions across the country. Overall, taking into consideration of all the cycles NAAC has done so far, it comes to 17,000 accreditation NAAC has completed right from 1994. So, when we have this standard of educational institutions in different categories of grades, the question that lies before us, are we satisfied with the kind of education we are giving? Accepting that grade, what NAAC has given, placing us in B or D or B++, are you quite saturated, satisfied? NAAC is not convinced. Ministry of Higher Education is not convinced. Looking at the quality of education happening in the country, NAAC decided to go for transformative reforms. That is in the third stage, quality enhancement. The NAAC's journey moves to the next stage to quality enhancement. How to enhance the quality of these institutions that are lying in different grades, absolutely in lower grades. The final destination of the NAAC's journey is embedding quality in the DNA of the institutions. moving from external monitoring and making the institutions having their own internal ownership. No one has to come and do the police work of checking the quality. Institution can vouch that they are doing, whatever they are doing is the quality culture. That is the final destination. NAAC is trying to move on. Reimagining quality assurance doesn't mean that we have to completely discard the old format system. It's not. It's about enriching the old system with new perspectives. The request to resolve the issues, challenges faced in NAAC accreditation from different stakeholders was due for a long time. When UGC take this into a consideration in the year 2022, it convened several consultative meetings with more than 250 higher educational institutions. This happened in 2022. Several meetings happened. The participants are central universities, state private universities, deemed to be universities, autonomous colleges, affiliated colleges, accredited institutions, non-accredited institutions. All were called for the meetings, consultative meetings. UGC just asked them three things. Their opinion about the current accreditation, the challenges every institution is facing in their assessment pattern, what are the reforms they would like to suggest. So I am going to give you the list of reasons, the request that came from the stakeholders from those consultative meetings. The first one, almost many institutions reflected, is data collection exercise. All the institutions almost felt this is the biggest challenge they are facing in NAAC accreditation. It is laborious, cumbersome, time-consuming, and it is big work that the institution felt very tiring. That too, not only to NAAC. The IQC coordinators in the offices are running behind the departments to collect the data, to submit data, not only to NAAC, to NARF, to AIACHE, to NBA, and this AICTE at regular periodicities. So all the stakeholders put the first point as the data collection and presentation is very, very difficult, particularly for the recruitments, placements. To get information about the passed out students, they find it difficult to present the data. So this was the first one listed in the request. Type of institutions. Many stakeholders felt that proper weightage is not given, location-specific weightage. We cannot simply say that the institution in Delhi is having a quality, an institution in far south is less in quality. Proper weightage has not been given for Tier 1 city institutions, Tier 2 city institutions, Tier 3, urban institutions, rural institutions. What about the tribal institutions? Can we compare a tribal institutions located in a hill with an institution in Bombay? But the current accreditation system is having a one-fit model, keeping all in equal to assess. So that was a request that came from stakeholder to change that, go for reform. Yeah, this is almost all the institutions gathered here. Academic heads, you might have felt that what you have presented in the data, you deserve more grades, but something happened in the quantitative metric analysis because it was verified, validated by a third party. The third party and higher educational institution could not go in alignment with the lack of understanding. What the institution is trying to explain, the other side, the third party, is not ready to take it up. It's mere statistical analysis. They simply gave the marks. Institutions were not satisfied with the way where NAAC is having a least role, a third party is coming and then taking a quantitative metric analysis. All of you might undergone this in your previous accreditation. Disconnect between quantitative metric and qualitative metric. After getting the results in the previous accreditation, if you compare the results of peer team report and the quantitative metric analysis, you will find a lot of gaps, differences. They are not synchronized. They are not in alignment. A big gap. Either the peer team has given a great grade or the quantitative metric score is very good, but the peer team has reduced the score. These anomalies were presented in that consultative meetings. Yeah, many stakeholders said, like global accreditation, what currently NAAC, NARF or NBA, they focus is input-centric. How is your infrastructure? What are the facilities you are doing for college? No. Look at the outcome of the education. Give more weightage for outcome-based results. That has been accepted is coming as a reform. A+, already accredited college, which got A+ and A++, do not enjoy full autonomy as prescribed by UGC autonomy regulations. If you get A++, you will be enjoying getting grants and funds from UGC. It was a big disappointment. It didn't happen. So they said that UGC regulations are not met for autonomy. Hesitancy to re-accredit. Institutions come for first accreditation. After seeing all the difficulties, they don't turn back. For second accreditation or third accreditation, they simply leave this whole process of assessment for the fear of getting into lower grades. Peer team composition. The team that visits the institution are not properly compiled, particularly for universities. A big team is going as peer team. Most of the representations in that peer team are from public institutions and very less number of private institution people are getting their place in peer teams that visit the institutions. That another observation by the stakeholders. Few stakeholders, vice chancellors and then principals said, why don't we introduce the global best practices in our accreditation so that our assessment will be elevated to the global accreditation. So that was also considered. And finally, comparison between a NAAC and NARF. Rather than saying comparison, I must say confusion between NAAC and NARF results. What we normally expect, an institution which got a very good grade in NAAC accreditation definitely will be falling into the 1 to 100 ranks in the NARF ranking. Do you think it is happening so? I understand. One is ranking, the other one is rating. People could not get the clarity between both the assessing agencies. What NAAC is doing, quality assurance system. What NARF is doing, a performance comparison ranking. Though they have taken a few parameters in alignment, like teaching, learning, graduate outcome and research, a whole 360-degree evaluation is done by NAAC, where NARF is taking care of just 3 parameters. And it's true. NAAC As just in the previous slide, you noticed 310 institutions got their A++. Okay, keep in mind. In NARF 2025, recently released results, the results were given in 4 bands. You know that very well. 1 to 100, 101 to 150, 151 to 200, 200 to 300. Almost more than 4,000, I am talking about the college category, not the universities. More than 4,000 colleges participated in NARF ranking 2025. What is your expectation? What is the expectation of the public stakeholder? The first 100 ranks definitely must be from the A++ 310 colleges. How many A++ colleges are there in NARF 2025? Can you guess? Surprisingly, not even 50%. In NARF 2025, there are 44 A++ colleges and then around 20 A+. My question is, leave that 44, what happened to the remaining that 310 A++ colleges? Where are they? We have A++ colleges in 100 to 150 band. I met a sister from Bon Secus. They have A++. They are in 151 to 200. There are colleges, St. Peter's College, Basilis College, with A++, they are ranging from 200 to 300. You will be surprised to know that there are colleges with B grade, assessed by, accredited by NAAC, having B grade with a score of 2.50. They got a place within 100 ranking band. NARF. Krista Jayanti College is in 34 with A++. You will be surprised to know there is a B college, B grade college with a 2.63 is well before in ranking before Krista Jayanti. B grade college. I don't come to say that I understand NAAC is different, NARF is different, but the mismatch, any public stakeholder will be having this question. Why this, how this college with such a low grade from NAAC got into the 50 ranks band? This mismatch is another biggest issue that led UGC to go for transformative reforms. Though, further other factors are there. I don't want to discuss here. And both the colleges, B grade colleges, I tell you, Father, are not Catholic colleges. Right? I don't want to go into the details of the differences that we observe in this grading, but it happens. So this NAAC major reforms, after listening to the stakeholders' request, UGC decided in 2023 to constitute a committee under the headship of Dr. Radhakrishnan, former ISRO chairman. The committee had 6 sittings, having all representation from NARF, NAAC, NBA, AIACHE, and they presented the report last year. That's why I said, what are all I'm saying now, you know that points, but it was released last year, at the beginning of last year. So in January 16th, the committee submitted their report. Radhakrishnan Committee on Transforms. All the 10 major reforms were accepted by the UGC, and on 27th, NAAC announced, released a press note saying that it is undergoing a major reform. So far, 3 decades, NAAC was running that 7 criteria format. It is to move on to the transformative changes giving more importance to outcome-based results. I'm going to quickly tell you about the 10 reforms and then another 10 slides about the attributes I want to discuss on that. With that, my session is over. So the first reform is binary accreditation. Initially, it was called binary, and then now NAAC is saying that it is changing the nomenclature, not binary accreditation. Binary accreditation is a global term. Global accreditations, they call binary accreditation. Now NAAC is changing the nomenclature. When it is officially released, it will be called not binary accreditation, it is basic accreditation. Basic accreditation for the first time entries. First time, first cycle appearances by the institutions, they will be subjected to this basic accreditation. The other thing NAAC decided, the major thing is abolishing the grades. No more A++, A+, A grade, B++, B grade. All the 8 grade system is removed. Instead, it is bringing changes. For the first time appearing institutions, they will be given only 2 results. Accredited by NAAC, if their standard is not far below the expectation of NAAC, then that will be announced not accredited. Just 2 results. That is what they called binary, but basic accreditation. I am sure representation from the institution sitting here might have gone for their first cycle. You are all expecting your re-accreditation, second, third, fourth, fifth cycle of accreditation. I don't think our Catholic institutions should be appreciated. They had the guts to face any type of assessment when it was announced by NAAC. They came forward rather than the other institutions to take up that assessment and get accredited, show it to the public what standard they are having. So almost I am sure maybe Xavier board can check whether any institution is still to be assessed by NAAC. So this may not be applicable for us, and this is mainly for I must tell you that this is the simplified accreditation process, mostly quantitative metric analysis. Just they are going to check the data. No peer team visit. Minimum inquiry by experts wherever required. So this is purely submit your data. You will go through that. You are accredited, not accredited. Done. Why this is being done? This is because low-level willingness of higher educational institution to volunteer for assessment. 1,000 and more universities in India, 40,000 more institutions imparting education. 30% of these institutions have come for accreditation. Remaining 70% are not worried about assessment or accreditation. They are just going on imparting education to the young minds of India. That is where government, the Ministry of Education is worried about the quality of education being taught by these institutions which have not been accredited. Why these institutions are not coming forward to get accredited? Because of the fear they may get low grades. So to remove that fear, NAAC is abolishing the grading system. Just come and give your data, get accredited, and then go. To bring all the institutions for accreditation, this binary basic accreditation is being introduced. This is the one we are all facing. All our institutions now facing second cycle, third cycle, or fourth or fifth cycle, we are going to face not binary accreditation, maturity-based graded level accreditation. This will take your institution to different levels, will position your institution in different levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Level 1 is lower, level 4 is higher. If your institution is having some grade now in the previous accreditation, for example, I am telling you, you can imagine level 1, Level 1 is for comparison, just imagination I'm telling. The C and B grade colleges, if we think they can be placed in level 1, B plus colleges in level 2, for our understanding I'm saying, A plus colleges in level 3, and A colleges in level 3, A plus colleges in level 4, for our understanding. If you think based on the previous accreditation, if we go for accreditation now in our next cycle, this is the level we may be attaining. I am telling you, this is going to be a very, very strict assessment this time. If our institutions could go to level 3, it's an achievement. If they reach level 4, it is going to be a greater achievement. Most of our institutions will be in level 1 and level 2 in the new format of assessment. The measures are very, very stringent. For example, I tell you, seed money to be given to the researchers. If somebody is willing to take up a research project and they approach the management to give some seed money, 10%, whatever is available. Even I used to encourage the institutions management to give at least 10,000 or 20,000, some money to be given for them to do the groundwork, to present it to the external agencies. NAAC is putting a boundary now. If you want to have a berth in level 5, your institution, the seed money to be given to each individual faculty is 5 lakhs. The limitations. Looking into the financial conditions of the institution, is it viable for our institutions? So much implications, so much limitations, so much boundaries are designed in the new format. And you may ask me a clarity in this one. What we have to do, we have to apply for the assessment, and after the assessment, we will be placed in different levels. Not after the complete assessment. When you submit your pre-qualifier, what we do now, IAQA, you remember that one? Institutional information for quality assurance, that you have to submit before your SSR submission. And that IAQA will be, NAAC will go through that, and then that will give the green signal that you can go for accreditation. Similarly, when you are going to submit your pre-qualifier, NAAC will be directing you to, asking you to apply for this particular level. If you apply for level 5, they will go through your pre-qualifier and they will direct you to go to level 3. If you apply for level 1, if they find your credentials are quite good, they will ask you to go for level 3 or level 4. So the pre-qualifier information that you are going to submit to NAAC will decide which level you are going for accreditation. Still more clarity is required in the official release of information. And those institutions which are present in these 4 levels are called the institutions of national excellence. And an institution kept in level 2 in the next cycle of accreditation can move to level 3 or level 4 by evolving in depth in their discipline. If you are having UG, if you move to PG, if you are having PG to research center, or by adding more departments, more programs, widening that number of programs, you can move from one level to another level is the condition NAAC is putting. There is level 5. How many of our institutions aspire to get a place in level 5? If you want to go to level 5, the conditions are very, very strict. You should have got a place in global ranking. How many of our institutions subject themselves for global rankings, QS ranking, Times Higher Education, or Shanghai Assessment Accreditation? And Father Joji was telling before my coming to the stage, internationalization, importance of internationalization. So level 5 institutions, I can very well say, confirm these institutions are going to be in level 5. I can very well count that all the IITs, Indian Institute of Science, all research institutions, most of the universities which do intense research, which have a position in global ranking, those institutions will be in level 5. QS results 2026 announced there are 54 Indian institutions in their global ranking. None is present within 1 to 100. The first rank obtained by IIT Delhi, it started its ranking at 213. IAC at a little later. Many institutions, 54 institutions, mostly IITs, NITs, and some multi-program universities like SRM, Savida Dental, Amity, and then Anna University, JNU. All universities are present. In that 54, one Catholic institution is there. Christ, deemed to be university, is in 1,400 plus ranking. Where that IITs and NITs are in that within 600 ranks, the one institution. I pose a question here. When our Catholic institutions are going to set the benchmark of reaching that global excellence, how Xavier Board is going to help to enhance the quality standards of our Christian Catholic institutions to reach level 5. These are the questions I'll leave here in this slide to think over later. That Shanghai academic ranking of world universities is very, very strict. Only 15 institutions in India have got their place. If you wish to take your institution to global excellence, all that you have to focus is research. I know most of our institutions are teaching institutions. The employability outcomes, outcome-based results are expected. And then global engagement, internationalization, go for twinning programs, joint degree programs with abroad institutions, dual degrees. Let international students come and get admitted into our institutions. Recruit international faculty. Go for research networking with global institutions. These are the benchmarks we can set for our institutions to go to the level of level 5, to be on par with the global institutions. Yeah, choice-based ranking system. This is currently only the students are giving their student survey. NAAC is now inviting other stakeholders also. Students will be giving their reflection on studies, and funding agencies will identify how many potential researchers are in our institution to grant funds. And industries will be looking for experts from your institution to give consultancy. All this get weightage in the proposed reform. And then amalgamation, actually this is program accreditation is done by NBA. And then overall institutional accreditation is done by NAAC. Amalgamation is merging both these things, and then after this accreditation, the results will be giving the institutional recognition, grade, as well as which departments, which programs in the institution are flagship programs doing a greater work. That also will be reflected, giving a good score for the institution, and less important programs will be bringing down the score of the institution. All these are brought into this Reform 4. Reform 5, mentoring the institutions. If you are already an accredited institution, I told Xavier Port can identify that institutions to be accredited, yet to go for their first cycle. you can extend your guidance to those institutions. You become a mentor, the helper updating university, the institutions will become the mentees. You will get due credit for doing this guidance in your reaccreditation. And then bringing all these things, AICT is doing approvals every year, reapproval for the technical programs. NBA is giving accreditation on the technical programs once in 3 years or 6 years. NAAC is doing its quality assessment once in 5 years. NRF is doing the ranking every year. So bringing all these assessing agencies under one umbrella called Higher Educational Council of India is another reform. And Reform 7, bringing all the institutions into that assessment. This is mainly for bringing IITs. IITs are institutions approved by the parliament, and they have their own self-evaluation and assessment pattern. Now, all the directors of IITs have agreed to come under the assessment of NAAC. This is Reform 7. Reform 8, categorizing. This we discussed, location specific. The institution should not have the one fit model for assessment for all the category institutions. We should give due weightage for upcoming institution, having crossed 100 years of service. Looking into that years of service, we should go for different formats of assessment. NAAC is bringing more number of formats to research institutions, teaching and research institutions, vocational training institutions, all those regional, tribal institutions, rural institutions, all are taken into consideration. And then this is the major change. The 7 criteria format is getting changed into 10 attributes now. All you have to get ready if you are waiting for your accreditation. Tell your faculty members and departments to get ready for these 10 attributes. See, these 3 new added attributes are not new. They have been taken out of already in the 7 criteria. They have been given emphasis now. For example, curriculum was already existing. Faculty resources was in the 2nd, teaching learning, and that has been taken out. Infrastructure and finance were together in the existing, and then finance has been taken out, given more importance. Learning and teaching learning nomenclature has been changed to learning and teaching. Extended curricular engagement was in that 3rd criteria with the research. It has been taken out separately. Governance was there already. Student outcomes was there in the name of student support. And the research and innovation outcomes. And then among the 10 attributes, the first 4, curriculum, faculty resource, infrastructure, financial resources are called input attributes. Less weightage is given for these attributes. Learning, teaching, extended curricular engagement, governance and administration are called process attributes. A little more weightage is given. More weightage in NAAC accreditation is given for the last 3 outcome results. That is student outcomes, research and innovation outcome, sustainability outcome. Reform 10 is a great relief for the IQC coordinators of the colleges, because they run after getting the data and feed the data at different periodicity to different agencies. All has been resolved. I welcome this one by creating a unified elicitation tool, which is a robust, digital, unique repository for feeding data as well as extracting data. NAAC is working on this one. The delay in announcing the official format is because this is still under construction. Still it is taking up. Once officially announced means all the institutions will start entering their data into this digital, technologically advanced management system, which will replace the manual entry. And then the authenticity of the data is verified here, validated. And there will be no duplication or multiple entries of data to NARF one data, NAAC one data, nothing of that sort. All that institutions have to do is enter your data for every year. That will be taken by NAAC, taken by NRF, and then taken by NBA. And they have that two application programming interfaces for that assessing agencies to extract what they want in their respective format. So this is called One Nation, One Data platform, a single point data entry. The institutions need not go and then fill the data every time to different agencies, robust data management, high level integrity and security. And this helps that institutions as well as that for input as well as extracting the data for that agencies. And this will be used by AIACHE, UGC, and then NAAC, NRF, NBA, all. I will take another 10 minutes to quickly go through the attributes, and then almost all of you are quite familiar with this one. Anyhow, the 10 attributes, quickly I will go through the slides. Curriculum, mainly for the autonomous colleges, affiliated colleges could not make any changes in their curriculum because they are affiliated to the respective universities. The universities and autonomous colleges can think about whether their curriculum is outcome-based curriculum, having all these, almost all the institutions nowadays, if you go to their website and then see their curriculum, they are having the program objective and then program specific objective, course outcomes, all are present. No issue on that one. Stakeholder participation in assessing the curriculum, standard of the curriculum, getting feedback from the teachers, students, stakeholders, employers, and then passed out students. And if there is a valid suggestion, placing it in Board of Studies, Academic Council, mentioning that it came from that stakeholders. We are doing that. Curriculum flexibility, in few states they are opposing very strongly that the ME, multiple entry, multiple exit. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra. This is strongly opposed to saying that there will be more dropouts. This may lead to more dropouts. They are not ready to accept this one. ABC, already many institutions have gone for academic bank of credits. Choice-based credit system is there in all the institutions. Practical and industry focus, almost all the outgoing students are taking projects and internships. See to that your institution is having in the curriculum. Skill orientation, whether you have courses in alignment with courses announced by National Credit Framework, National Skill Qualification Framework, or National Higher Education Qualification Framework. This is leading to lifelong learning, skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. Indian knowledge system, how to incorporate our heritage knowledge into the modern education, and then online and blended. During the Corona time, we completely shifted our teaching learning into online mode, and then after everything became normal, we have come to that face-to-face teaching learning. There are advantages in the online mode also. So that the Ministry of Higher Education is saying that have a blended type, hybrid type of education. Have face-to-face as well as 80%, 20% try to bring online education that will help. It has its own advantage. Curriculum revision, almost all the institutions are doing. Attribute to faculty resources, it should be around 1:20. And then most of the institutions are trying, but depends upon the number of strength of the students, and the management is trying to meet this 1:20 ratio, keeping one teacher for 20 students in each department. Depends upon the workload and then financial viability of the institution. Faculty quality, that professor category is in university, associate professor and assistant professor. All these three categories should be in 1:1 ratio, which is quite difficult to manage, but they look forward to that. The faculty working in your institution must be at least 75% of your faculty should have research degree, PhD holders. If you are facing your accreditation next year, you cannot immediately improve that one, requesting your faculty to finish that PhD quickly, but the recruitment that you are going to do this year, you recruit PhD people. That will immediately increase the number. Average experience, this one is to check the institution's ambience, whether you have given a good ambience for your faculty to be retained in the institution for long years of service. average is 15 years. And then attribute 3, infrastructure. Of course, I need not spend more time on this. These are all input-centric facilities that you are giving in the classroom, technology involved in the teaching, learning, and library, the amount that you have spent for that resources, digital as well as books, how far you have enhanced that network bandwidth of your institution for effective Wi-Fi connections, student-computer ratio, all these things you are very familiar with. I am skipping these slides. And that attention that you are giving for the physically disabled students, differently able students, by having a ramp, a lift, and washroom, all, you know that since you have already gone for accreditation, you know all these things are already present in your institution. Need not worry about that one. Financial resources, you must have your accounts office very clearly knowing what is capital expenditure, what is capital revenue, what is revenue income, and then revenue expenditure, all those things. That government grants, management contributions, loans, all are generated revenue in capital income, and then you will be spending that. NAAC will be checking whether this capital revenue generated is being spent on these instructional building, library, hostels. This is the check. They will be doing that in accreditation. And revenue income is mainly from the fees that is being collected from the students. Other things also, contribution from alumni, consultancy, endowments, and then how it is being spent in salaries, maintenance, electricity, all. Only thing, all you have to do is keep all the things in accordance with that capital as well as revenue. Tell your accounts office to keep things in this order, so when people check that how finance is handled by the institution, it will be very helpful for NAAC to give their full score for this. And then it continues, do you have a corpus fund for your institution? And then do you invest that corpus in different investments? And then do you conduct internal audits and then external audits? All what you found in the previous accreditation are the same in this proposed revised format also. How prudently you are taking the risk in investments of the corpus fund. You may invest that in fixed deposits in the bank, knowing that very little interest will be there, or you can take a little risk of investing them in mutual funds. You will get a little more interest, but the risk is there. If you are ready to take up a big risk, you can very well go for that share markets, and then definitely it is highly risky. Are you going to give all that, or you are going to prudently take a small amount to share markets, a minimum amount for that mutual funds, a larger amount to be safer side to be put in the fixed deposit? How smartly your institution is handling this risk management is going to be accredited by NAAC. Learning and teaching is the main business of our institutions, and then apart from the top to down, teacher to student, the regular lecture-based teaching, are you giving importance for this other type of learning also? Group learning, self-study, game, technology, peer, problem solving. This has to be handled by the teacher, involving the students. More weightage is given if your institution, your department, your faculties are practicing these innovative methods of teaching. Learning management system, do you have a better learning management in your institution? If not, try to go for one. Either you hire or for sharing the teaching resources for the faculty and students. Most of the institutions are using Google Classrooms and WhatsApp, and better they can have a ERP system and then develop their own LMS. Industry academia linkage, and strengthen that by inviting people from industries as resource persons. I need not go into the details. Assessment components, how simply giving the questions and then going for written test. Are you having interesting assessment components? Ask your faculty to do that one. Conduct a quiz, multiple choice questions, give them case studies, catering to diversities. How do you take care of the slow learners, advanced learners? All you have are familiar with the previous accreditations. Academic grievances. Do you have ICC in your college? Do you have anti-ragging cell in your college? Whether that is meeting regularly, whether the minutes of the discussions are properly maintained, all those things will be again asked in the revised format also. Yeah, how much quick you are in declaring your results from the last date of the examination, efficiency of the controller of examination office if you are in an autonomous college. Affiliated colleges don't have this, and then universities can think of. And then these things I quickly move on because these are all clubs that you are having for various bringing the skills of the students in extracurricular activities. I move on this slide quickly. All community services all come in this. What you experience in the last accreditation, all these things are only thing you had that departments having in the association, name of association, just to change the nomenclature into clubs now. And they are called domain-related clubs and then cultural clubs. Each department, not the college as a whole, should have all these mental well-being clubs. NAAC has given due weightage for this establishment of clubs in each department. Easy things where you can score without missing your marks. Attribute 7, governance and administration is the biggest area. Do you have institutional development plan? You may be having that master plan for 3 years, 5 years. What NAAC is expecting, have a plan for short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. The long-term goals is for 15 years. What NAAC expects is after 15 years, your institution should become a degree awarding institution. That should be the benchmark you should set after 15 years. So, how you are going to devise your institutional development plan? Where you want your institution to be after 5 years, escalated in the quality, in standards. So, this is being given more weightage. This one is directly related to the academic heads present here in this hall. Give more importance. Don't wait for the official announcement from NAAC. If you are already due for accreditation or waiting for accreditation, right time for you to start the groundwork. This will take time. Arrange a committee involving all stakeholders, have deep discussions, enter the minutes, and then prepare a very effective institutional development plan, monitor that one, and then at regular intervals, if things are moving, just let it. If things are not at all progressed, think whether that should be dropped to go for another one. All prudency expected from the academic administrators, this one. Effective leadership is not that all alone the principal or vice chancellor can do the magic for the institution. He has to identify the right persons for deans, controller of examination, and give the responsibility to the right persons and give them the freedom to execute that one. That reflects your leadership. Identifying the right person is that academic leader's intuition. Look into that one. Have evidence for all these things. Quality assurance, of course, you have an IQAC which is looking care of the quality, sustaining the quality, and then enhancing the quality in all the avenues of your activities. And this can be done through the academic audit. Have you gone for academic and administrative audit? A structured academic and administrative audit. Not simply calling some experts and then doing some observations, getting a feedback. Do it in a structured manner so that the principal will come to know that exact department's status in all the 10 attributes. The parameters should be in such a way that it should be an indicator for the departments to be informed to the academic head where they are lacking, where they are excelling, appreciation for the outstanding departments and then encouragement to be given to the upcoming departments. Employee welfare, all these things will be there in the institution. Efforts for employability, placement drives, you will be focusing on career guidance and placement drives. Grievance handling, how effective it is being. If there is no grievance at all in your institution, don't just leave it. Conduct the meetings and that register that no grievance record, but awareness on these things have been taken care of by the committee. Something should be there in the minutes. We should not simply say that this whole year our institution we didn't have any problem at all. Did you give awareness on anti-ragging, ragging to the students? That kind of things can be registered by that ICC or the cells allotted for this one. E-governance is another one NAAC is looking for. Paperless offices. And then 100% e-governance is nowadays observed in controller's office. National international collaborations. I told you, there are level 1 to level 5. If we have to move to level 5, we have to take a berth in level 5. You have to give due importance for internationalization. Sign MOUs with abroad institutions and then try to bring at least online lectures from foreign faculty members. Let them share their expertise with our own faculty. Focus on these things. This will get you good marks. Faculty retention is another one. If it is a floating faculty, that is giving a negative shade to the institution, that things are not in good ambience. Activity 8, student outcomes. Of course, you know all these things, that the sanctioned, enrolled students should be equal. If certain programs are not attracting the students and then the demand ratio is going down, what are you going to do? And then are you going to allow that? And then if it is number is going, and then finally you will be closing that program. Identify the reasons why it is not attracting that students. Find out. And graduate progression, this has an impact in NARF as well as NAAC. Suppose this is how many students successfully leave the institutions in the minimum stipulated time as graduates. If it is UG, they should go in the third year. If it is PG, they should be sent out of the college successfully, giving them the degree in the second year. If our students take some reasons, keeping arrears, and stay back in the college, completing that the next year or year after, it is a negative mark for the institution. So try to tell the faculty members, departments, to clear the students in the minimum stipulated time that is expected, and how many go to higher studies, how many get placed, and how many becomes entrepreneurs. Due weightage is given in NAAC. But in NARF, 2 days before, there is a news. Many institutions have raised their request to the Ministry of Education saying that the parameters in NARF are not quite satisfying. Saying that 10 marks for perception is absolutely not fair. And this, that the graduate outcomes, the importance is given in NARF only for placements and higher studies. What about the students taking up family businesses and then becoming entrepreneurs? Due weightage is not given. So they say that the NARF is still following the old format of assessment in ranking for 15 years, like NAAC. Why not NARF also should go for a revision is the question raised in the meeting of universities, which was held in 2 days before, came as a news in the dailies. Learning experience survey conduct, and then I am coming to research, another important area. I understand there are 3 types of institutions. Teaching institutions, most of our institutions are teaching institutions. Research institutions are IITs and then IIC and NITs. Very few colleges institutions balance between teaching and research. Loyola is one. And Imagine, understand your research outcome is helping you to get a good recognition in the assessment agencies. So research ambience, how far you are giving research facilities to the researchers, buying them equipments, expanding the lab facilities, giving them seed money. Most of the institutions that I came across in my mentoring, not much amount has been spent on these things, which is highly expected. Unless you give some money for their groundwork in research, they will not do research. And our institutions are focusing on expanding the infrastructure. Divert that amount. They are not going to give you mark for what infrastructure buildings you are going to build now. Divert that amount into research. They are input centric, and what is we expecting is outcomes, research outcomes. External research grants, government and sources are taken into weightage. More number of publications. Encourage your faculty members to publish their papers in Scopus and Web of Science. UGC CAR list is not considered now because it has not been duly given weightage by the abroad institutions, UGC CAR listed journals. So mainly NAAC and then NARF depend on Scopus and Web of Science. Let your faculty members present their publications in these two. Sister, I am finishing, sister. I see you taking the mic. And another 2 slides, sister, wait. Before you announce, I tell you. Research quality, HNTs and citations. Take care of one thing I want to tell you. Citation should be real. There are paper mills, we call, that increase the citations if you make payment. If you want national level citations to be increased, they are ready to do that by requesting their people in different institutions. If you want to increase the international, they are ready to do that. These are not ethical. Now, you might have understood in the recent NRF 2025, our principal was saying in our meeting, giving an alarm to all our faculty members, please publish the original work done by you. Not with the help of technology, AI and other things. And then these unethical things are leading to retractions. Negative score. This time NRF gave negative scores for these retractions, including that prominent researchers into our paper without giving information to them. And they are surprised to see their names in the published papers and inform that reputed journal saying that I am not at all involved with this one. But people are doing this because of the presence of their names, the paper will get published. These are all called retractions. Increasing the citations unethically and then involving prominent researchers into our names without their knowledge, unethical. And this publishing with the help of AI is unethical. And our scores will go down. No time, NAAC also may take up, since NRF is doing that one, retractions. PhDs awarded guides and scholars, encourage your faculty to become guides and then take up more scholars for their research. Intellectual property, more number of patents. You might have seen in that international ranking systems, they give more weightage for research and that outcome experience. That copyright, trademark, patents are the research outcomes. How many of your faculty are experts to give their management development programs, training programs, consultancy, and then entrepreneurship development programs, and faculty development programs? I've come to the last slide. Sustainability outcome, this is absolutely, you know, all that last slide in that previous accreditation. How much importance you give for sustenance of green environment in your college. And then how do you manage that waste management, water recycling, all those things. Almost all our Christian institutions are giving due weightage, and then we are quite comfortable in this particular attribute. We will get full score. And opportunities through these transformative reforms, I observe 4 things. Quality enhancement rather than paperwork. Involving technology, that is reducing the burden of data submission. Continuous quality monitoring is going to be there. And then international credibility will be improved, because this accreditation is slightly trying to go setting benchmark with global institutions. Challenges for our institutions, I observe smaller institutions. I spoke about the tribal institutions, rural institutions. They will be finding it difficult to cope up with the technology involved, digital revolution that we are bringing in, that data submission. It will take time for them to get absorbed. Training should be given for small institutions which are located in rural area, how they can utilize the technology. Building capacity for outcome-based measurement requires training. Still, many institutions are not having the clarity how to calculate attainment calculation of the program outcome, course outcomes. Still, we have doubts how to do that attainment calculation. When we focus on outcomes in our accreditation, more clarity should be given to the faculties and then institutions on how to calculate that program attainment and then course attainment. That needs more specific. That's going to be a challenge. Risks of institutions chasing numbers instead of real transformation. Again, see, the reflection came from UGC chairman on these reforms, saying that the grade abolishment is a good sign. There will be no unhealthy competition between the institution. All these things are fine. But I very much fear it has come in another way. Now we are going to position our institutions in levels, level 1 to level 5. Unless NAAC takes serious that security measures, there will be unethical approaches again to keep their institution the preferred level. That one challenge is there for NAAC. You might have gone through that news from Andhra when CBI started inquiring. Possibilities are there. When we have this same level 1 to level 5, there will be middlemen approaching the institution saying that we will place your institution. How we are going to avoid that? NAAC is going to avoid that one is a challenge. So before concluding, let me tell you, now you have listened to my presentation, many things. Most of the things, whatever that can be connected to your institutions, you might have taken a note of that one. Don't wait for the official release of announcement. It may come. It was expected to be released right from June, month of May, June, August, it went on. And then now even to date, it's not released. But anytime it may be released. If you are in due accreditation right from last year, start the groundworks. If you are going to face your accreditation in the next couple of semesters, it's right time for you to start the groundwork. Call the departments, tell them, institutional credit will come only from the departments. Department credits will come only from the individual faculty members. As academic heads, you have to address the department heads. You have to address the faculty members. Unless they bring the credits, the institution cannot project its image in NAAC accreditation. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Charles, for so lucidly explaining to us the reforms by NAAC, the 10 reforms, one of which is our NAAC, the 10 attributes that are there. So you have done it with a lot of clarity, and we all understood so well that the questions are so few. Now they told me not to go ahead with the questions, so we stop at that also. So one thing that we realize is it's so difficult even to be within that level 1 to 4. I'm sure all of us have been there, gone for at least once or twice or thrice. We have, or more than that. We have gone for accreditation. All the Christian institutions. It is very difficult and challenging, but we have always, the Christian institutions have led the way. We continue to lead the way, and we, because others all look up to you, look up to all of us. So let us set that standard and benchmark for others to follow us. So that is our duty. So thank you, sir, so much. Let us give him a big applause for all the question answers, the answers, and for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Dr. M. Rashmi, for so gracefully moderating this enlightening session. Your thoughtful guidance, insightful questions, and calm leadership have truly added depth and direction for today's session. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Charles for sharing his expertise and giving us a fresh perspective on quality assurance and NAAC accreditation. Immediately after the session, Sister asked, are you all scared? Are you all nervous? When we listen to the word NAAC, of course, we fear. But then Dr. Charles made a presentation in such a way that this NAAC sounded less like an inspection, but more like an inspiration, isn't it? Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Charles, for that wonderful presentation. May I please request Dr. Sister Sajita from Mount Carmel College to kindly come forward and present a memento to our speaker as well as the moderator. This is a token of appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Charles, presented by Dr. Sister Sajita. Thank you so much. And now to the moderator for moderating the session wonderfully. Thank you so much, Sister Rashmi.